These are the dogs available for adoption here at Pinellas County Animal Services at closing time on Friday, August the 10th. Our first dog is Ellie. Ellie kind of looks like a greyhound mix. She's a pretty girl. Got that long face and that lean greyhound body. She's 5 months old and 30 pounds, so expect her to get a bit bigger. She'll probably be 50 pounds when she's done growing. Our next dog for adoption is Peanut, and Peanut is a sweetheart. A mild-mannered dog that walks well on a leash. Peanut is a year old and she weighs 40 pounds. Next is a comedian. This is Laurel. Laurel is 6 months old. She's going to get bigger, so she's going to be hardy. She's a 35-pound dog that'll probably be 60 pounds when she's done growing. She does give kisses, and she's a very affectionate dog who loves her treats. Next is a 5.5-month-old that does not yet have a name. This is a 23-pound boy. 5 months old, you can expect him to almost double his weight. Morgan is a 4-month-old puppy. A really pretty tricolor, black, tan, and white. He's talking to you now. He's asking you to take him home. He's a shepherd mix that weighs 27 pounds. We will be at PetSmart in the Largo Mall tomorrow, which will be Saturday, the 11th, adopting out some of our animals. This is Stitch, who is 2 years old. Stitch is a heavy terrier. Originally came in weighing 41 pounds, but he's now in the mid-30s. Got a little bit to go. He does know sit and shake, and he walks really well on a leash. Next is one of my favorite dogs named Nadia. Nadia just knows how to work that camera with her big brown eyes. She does like to stare right into the camera to ask you to take her home. She's a year old and weighs 38 pounds, so she's not going to get any bigger. She likes to play with her toys, and she knows sit. My next dog is a high-energy dog that walks well. A low-energy dog that walks well on a leash. This is Flocka. Flocka's 50 pounds. Not going to get any bigger at a year old. This dog walks well on a leash and really enjoys attention. Just waits for you to reach down and pet him. Buster here is a high-energy dog. You can see that he is ready to come out and play. He's 2 years old and weighs 48 pounds. He does know sit and he does know stay, but he arrived at the shelter with heartworms. He's been treated for that, and he's all better and ready to go to a new home. Roman is the prettiest steely gray color. Roman is a mild energy level dog who is 6 months old, so he does have a lot of puppy energy. He weighs 30 pounds. Expect that to double by the time he's done growing. Well, currently behaving, but frequently being noisy is Coco. Coco's 3 years old and one of our bigger dogs. Coco weighs 68 pounds. Coco can walk pretty nice on a leash, but Coco really likes to retrieve toys. Next is Zeke. Zeke is a 1.5 years old and coming right up to the camera to say hi. Zeke weighs 37 pounds. He's a high-energy dog, and he loves his attention and he loves his treats. So we'll have to give him one. Next is Crystal, who does walk well on a leash. She's a 1.5 years old and weighs 62 pounds. This is one that also really enjoys attention and is a medium level as far as energy is concerned. The Benny is just begging to go. Benny is 2 years old, and he's a high energy dog. Needs a lot of work with his leash manners. Shouldn't be too hard because he likes his treats. He's 2 years old, and he weighs 58 pounds. This is little Vito. Vito is 9 months old. Vito is great on a leash. A mild level dog. He needs a little work on his leash manners, but that's just because he pulls a little bit. He should learn quickly, especially since he loves attention and looks forward to being petted. Well, this is the Big General. He weighs 70 pounds. He knows sit and shake. He is 4 years old, and at 70 pounds, he's not getting any bigger, but that's pretty big anyway. He's a nice dog that is very playful, very affectionate. Well, Major here is not quite as big as General. Major is 65 pounds. Major is just under 2 years old, so a little younger, although he looks a lot like General, don't you think? He's got a lot of energy, but he does know sit. Adoptions do remain $25 until the end of the month because we just have too many animals. Roscoe is one of our animals that we have too many of. He is 7 months old and he weighs 50 pounds, which means he's still got some growing to do. He's got an interesting short little curly tail, like a pug, but he's a lot bigger than most pugs. He's probably a Labrador Retriever mixed with Chow and or Rottie. He does walk pretty well on a leash, and he knows a command. That command is sit. Next is Obi. Obi is our water dog. He really enjoys the swimming pool. Obi knows sit and stay and walks pretty good on a leash, although he does like to pull. He is 3 years old and he weighs about 50 pounds. Shay is a sweetheart, a doll, one of my favorite dogs in the shelter. At 7 years old, Shay's got all that puppy destructive chewing out of his system. He is 48 pounds, so he's not getting any bigger. He's just a very affectionate dog and one of my favorites. A little hard to see Terry in the back of his pen there. It's a dark dog and it's not a very well lit cage. Terry knows sit and needs a little work on his other commands. He seems to be fully house trained though. He really likes his treats. He's 7 months old and he weighs 80 pounds. He's one of our heaviest dogs in the shelter right now. And our last dog is Cyrus. Cyrus is a 1.5 years old, and Cyrus weighs 63 pounds. Cyrus knows sit, and he loves to play ball. Well, that's all the dogs we have for adoption here at Pinellas County Animal Services. At closing time on Friday, August the 10th. All the dogs in tonight's video will be available for adoption unless they get adopted at PetSmart tomorrow. That'll be in the Largo Mall at Saturday morning. Adoptions do remain $25, and we hope that you come and adopt one at the Largo Mall or at the shelter really soon. Thanks for looking at the animals here at Pinellas County Animal Services.